For all the nations in the World Cup, there will be millions of fans who are familiar with their side's golden generation, whether it was the England team of 10 years ago, the Brazilian side of the 70s, or even the Puskás-led Hungarians of the 1950s. Sorry, you're right. I was not expecting that. One question will inevitably pop up during conversation: did they actually win anything? If you're a Brazilian fan, your answer will be yes, quickly followed by which generation are you talking about. But for the rest of the nations, they may only get one golden generation, one chance to win the World Cup. Today, I'll be looking at Belgium and why this really is their golden generation. First, let's take a quick trip to the qualifying rounds for this year's finals in Russia and show you why the Red Devils have so much confidence going into it. Okay, their group wasn't the strongest with the likes of Estonia, Cyprus and Gibraltar, but after 10 games played, they had 9 wins, 1 draw and an average of 4 goals per game scored. Romelu Lukaku scored 11 goals in qualifying and showed why he's widely tipped to become the top goal scorer this summer. And Eden Hazard, along with his 6 goals, put in some fantastic displays which showed why heads are turning all around the world, including that of Real Madrid president Florentino Perez. But aside from the big names and the big numbers, is this really Belgium's golden generation? A short answer, yes, but here's why. The Belgium national team and success aren't really two terms that have ever gone hand in hand. They've appeared in 13 World Cup finals and 5 European Championships, with the best place finishes coming during the 1980s and their golden era of that time. The team finished as runners-up in Euro 1980 and came 4th in the World Cup in 1986. But since then they haven't really seen much talent emerge, and between the years of 2002 to 2014 they weren't even at any international competitions. This means that the current crop of players don't really live up to the records of those in the 80s. However, with titles and cups from Spain, Italy, Germany and France within their team, as well as top goal scorer Romelu Lukaku and record appearance holder Jan Vertonghen, this team is definitely the Belgians' golden generation and represent their best chance of success at an international tournament. But why does it have to be now? Why does the World Cup represent one of the final opportunities for this immensely talented Belgium squad? Well, it's all down to timing. The whole reason a group of players is called a golden generation is because they're all hitting their peak playing at the same time with similar experiences. However, in 4 years' time, many players will be past their peak and winding their careers down either in China or the MLS. Let's look at the defence for starters. Amongst Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen, Vincent Kompany and Thomas Vermaelen, you have 4 fantastic defenders. However, you do have very injury-prone defenders, with Kompany and Vermaelen being the main culprits. And after another 4 years of rigorous top-flight football in the European leagues, things aren't going to look much better. Add to this that by the time the next World Cup comes around, each of those 4 centre-backs will be between the ages of 33 and 36. Now, I'm not saying you can't be a great player at that age, but it's not ideal to have such aged defenders. As for replacements, they have Dedryck Boyata, who with only 7 caps at the age of 27 and playing in Scotland's top flight, it's hard to have the World Cup beating capabilities at the age of 31 when the Qatar World Cup rolls around in 4 years. Moving into midfield, and similar problems start to arise for the likes of Axel Witsel, Marouane Fellaini and Moussa Dembele, who again are all fantastic players, but this really represents their last opportunity. Now, I know Kevin De Bruyne is an unbelievable footballer and someone who could potentially win the Ballon d'Or in the future, but he can't run a midfield all by himself. Alongside this, there is a main point that has been brought up by none other than Belgian outcast Radja Nainggolan, who hasn't made the final 23-man squad after a fallout with Roberto Martinez. Nainggolan, who incidentally will be 34 at the next World Cup, has pointed out that Martinez originally stated he wanted his players to be playing at the top level in the top leagues for them to gain a place in the squad, before pointing out that his compatriots Axel Witsel and Yannick Carrasco both play in China. Now, not only is this shocking as both players are in their 20s and should be playing in the biggest games week in, week out, but also because Chinese football isn't really going to test them. And if they're another 4 years deep into that kind of football, they're not really going to be ready to take on the world at the 2022 World Cup. Aside from this, Belgium do have the firepower going forward. In years to come, albeit with a new defence and midfield, they'll still have the likes of Batshuayi, Romelu Lukaku, who's the top goal scorer, and the Hazard brothers Torgen and Eden. Eden will be the only one who'll be in his 30s come next tournament, so they'll all still be at the peak of their careers. All in all, if there was ever a golden generation to write their name into the history books of their country, it's this team this year in this World Cup. A side full of skill, strength, speed and incredible togetherness, I really believe this side has got what it takes. And who knows, with a bit of luck from the footballing gods and some magic skill on the pitch, there could be a new name being engraved in the world's most prestigious footballing trophy. Belgium. So there you have it. We've seen that this really is the golden generation for Belgium, but can they go all the way and lift the World Cup? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below and I'll see you next time. Wait, is that going to pick up? I didn't know where this geezer was going. Sorry, put me off. Oh, fuck, I completely fucked it up.